What's up, guys? Welcome back. We are here in round 5 of the Dallas Pokemon Regional Championships. I am Michael Slutsky, joined by.
Brent Halliburton.
We have got an incredible match for you here in this round 5 here. We have got Thane Cutler with Shocklock, a deck that has been kind of on the fringes of Expanded for a while, often memed. We're not really sure exactly how good it is. And on the other side, we have maybe the most hyped deck coming into the tournament, which is Unknown Damage.
It's your last chance to see it, people.
Yeah, Magikarp and Wailord GX, the new tag team Pokemon, the greatest card ever created, 300 HP. This deck is commonly known as Exodia. So there is Exodia Zoroark we saw earlier with the cool red card Delinquent combo, but this is the real Exodia. This is actually what Yugimoto played. We are going to jump into the round here shortly, but what do you think about this one?
This is going to be crazy. I mean, I know people tune into the stream to see the crazy stuff. We are bringing you the crazy stuff. This is as crazy as it gets. We're going to see total pandemonium. Shocklock versus Unknown Damage.
So we are getting started here. Thane starts with that Lillipup and attaches a Memory Energy, and he'll use Tropical Beach. So now it's on to Tim's turn. So
I talked with both of these guys before the round started. Neither one of them has any idea what the other is running.
Well, they're about to find out here. You'd think it would be a great matchup for Tim because Thane doesn't actually, attack. But on the flip side, Thane runs a copy of Alolan Muck from Sun and Moon, card that's very popular, especially with Ditto Prism. And Alolan Muck is kind of the only thing that this Exodia deck hates to see, as everything uses basic abilities, including and especially Klefki's Wonderlock ability, which is the key to the deck.
Yeah, theoretically, if the Alolan Muck comes out, Tim just scoops up his cards, right?
Correct. So Tim plays a level ball, grabs a Ditto, plays a second level ball. He's eyeing the other Ditto, the older Ditto, with Transform. So he's got the new Ditto Prism Star, Almighty Evolution, and he's got the older Transform Ditto.
So for people that are not old school, do you want to walk through the differences between the two Dittos?
Yeah, so everybody knows Almighty Evolution. You can evolve a Stage 1 right on top of it. But with the Transform Ditto, you can put any basic Pokemon you'd like on top of the Ditto. And if the Ditto has been in play for a turn, it acts as a copy of whatever basic you put on it. So, for example, if you put a Ditto down and then next turn put a Solosis on top of it, you can immediately Rare Candy the Solosis into Reuniclus because Ditto is the placeholder spot for that Solosis. So we see Tim Ultra Ball away on Ninetales and a Magma Base for a Shaman. And it's interesting. His strategy with his list is to just go as fast as he can and draw as many cards as he can.
Yeah, and basically getting out all those Dittos is just because he doesn't know the pieces he's going to draw into.
Yep.
So he's going to wait and see what pieces he draws into and then deploy those Dittos strategically, right?
So Tim actually runs, interestingly enough, he runs 3 copies of Random Receiver and 3 copies of Lily. That's his only supporter. So he wants to make sure he can Lily on the first turn for 8 and try and secure the combo by turn 2. I've been told that Tim has actually gotten the combo off on turn 2 every single game so far this tournament. So we'll see if he keeps it up with an order pad, which is Tails. Luckily, if nothing else, he does have access to Beach. Got an Ultra Ball in his hand. He puts a Sneasel down as well, and it looks like he's thinking.
So do you want to talk about the mechanics for how this deck works?
He opts to pass, so I think he forgot to use Tropical Beach. That is unfortunate.
Yeah. I thought he deliberately threw away the Magma and didn't go on top of the beach because why wouldn't you hit the beach at the end, right?
So that may have been an oversight on his part. Stoutland is not going to cause too much of a problem. Again, he does only run 3 copies of Lily, and Thane will just have to pass. He benches a Pikachu down and candies to the Stoutland and Beaches. So Tim has the potential, I believe, to pull off the combo this turn. I don't know exactly what his hand is, but the way it works is you have a Reuniclus in play with its damage swap ability. You have a Weavile in play with its tearaway ability. You have a Team Magma base down, and you play a Klefki down. Klefki takes 2 damage counters. You'll move the damage counters away with Reuniclus's damage swap, and then you'll attach the Klefki as a tool. And then using Weavile's Tearaway ability, you'll be able to pick up the Klefki as a tool. And you repeat the process until you put 660 damage in play, at which point you promote Unknown Damage and declare the ability that has sent Unknown to the ban list starting February 15th. So,
yeah, and there's a bunch of cute gimmicks that Tim can use here, like using the damage to knock out his own Shaman if it's paralyzed by the Raichu.
Yep.
And then promoting the unknown damage into its place. Man, the gimmicks here are crazy. Maybe we should talk a little about the gimmicks on the other side. You want to talk about how the mechanics of how Shock Lock works?
Sure. So Tim is playing a level ball, probably just checking for different things. But the way Thane's Shock Lock deck works is it's a deck that decks you out. So he uses Stoutland in the active spot. Stoutland's ability prevents your opponent from playing any supporters, notably Guzma. And then it uses...
He's just getting the second tool off the Mysterious Guidance.
Okay.
Now he's going to play the level ball. But he's been checking prizes extensively.
He grabs a Solosis with the level ball, really just checking to make sure that he has, at minimum, 1 Unknown and also 2 of the Wailord in play to pull off this combo. So we'll see. He played the level ball, took the Solosis. Trainer's Mail. He does have Ultra Ball still and a Rare Candy, so he could get Reuniclus this turn if he wanted. He's really just... It's all about making sure you sequence everything correctly. There are a lot of different ways to activate the combo, so it just requires a lot of thought in sequencing it right. But opting to take a level ball and just play it again. Maybe taking a...
So the Klefki?
Duosion, possibly. Could be taking... He's eyeing that Vulpix. I don't know if I like that necessarily. He could, of course, Beacon with it.
I mean, he only has 1 Ninetales in his deck, right? So he's already played that down. Seems like... Oh, no, he runs 2 Ninetales. I'm sorry.
He did discard 1, though.
He's got 2 different arts. All right.
So we'll see here. Level Ball, of course, can grab everything in Tim's deck except for the Shaman, the Alolan Ninetales GX, and the Magikarp and Wailord GX. So a lot of utility there. Looks like he opts to take the Weavile with that. He can, of course, use the Weavile's Tearaway to pick up the Float Stone if he retreats the Shaman into something else. But I expect we'll see a Beach this turn at some point once he finishes going through the motions.
Yeah, and interestingly, he's in no hurry because Thane's deck doesn't do damage.
Correct.
I mean, he's not going to kill any Pokemon this game. Thane's deck, the idea is he gets that Stoutland set up. The Stoutland's ability is as long as it's in the active, you can't play supporters. He uses the Pikachu to evolve into Raichu, which has an Evo Shock ability that paralyzes the active, so people can't Guzma or Float Stone out of it, and he basically traps you. Then he uses Memory Energy to attach to the Stoutland to use Hertier's attack to get items out of his discard.
Lilipup's attack. Pickup.
Oh, Lilipup's attack,
Yep.
sorry. To cycle Devolution Sprays, so he keeps you paralyzed until you run out of cards in your deck.
So looks like he Ultra Balled for a Shaman. Put the Solosis down on top of that old Boundaries Cross Transform Ditto. He does still have the Rare Candy, and I did see another Ultra Ball, so he likely will have it. Plays Trainer's Mail, fails that. This is a little awkward, though, because he filled up his entire bench. So the only way he can pick up a card, one of the Pokemon, is with his A-Spec Scoop Up Cyclone.
Oh, so he has to find the ace spec at this point because Thane's not going to kill any of these Pokemon,
Correct.
right?
So I imagine he wouldn't have taken the Shaman if he knew that the A-Spec was prized, obviously, because that would have locked him out of the game.
I don't see it in deck.
But otherwise, because he runs no energy, so he can't use Sky Return to pick up
Right.
the Shaman at all. So he takes the Weavile with this Ultra Ball. And he is eyeing the beach, and he'll use it to draw 5. So
I did not see the ace spec in deck.
I see the Unknown. I see a Communication. I see a Sneasel.
Is he counting on Thane? So what's interesting about Thane's list versus the traditional shock lock decks I feel like I've seen is a lot of them ran like the Aselgar combos and stuff like that. Here, it's just using the memory energy to attack.
Yep, you just use Memory Energy to use Lillipup's attack and return item cards like Evolution Spray to devolve your Raichu and continue locking them. Also can use it to obviously take certain search cards like, or certain item cards like Special Charge or whatever it is. So see an order pad come down from Tim. I don't believe he got that one.
I assume if you hit that order pad, you grab the scoop up and you pretty much are in the win position, right? If the scoop up's in deck.
So we see that Ditto come down though. So Thane is potentially a turn away from getting Alolan Muck. And if he does that, the game is over for Tim. There is nothing in Tim's list, I believe, that can counter Alolan Muck, which shuts off the Klefki. So he's eyeing that Klefki, but he can't attach it. And I didn't see a... Oh, he's opting to put the Klefki back in the deck. I think maybe he's just burning cards, or... I'm not sure. Yeah, he obviously can't play the Klefki, so... He just uses Beach. Okay, so there's the Alolan Muck, and I do not believe Tim has any way to counter this. So if I'm Tim, I would maybe consider going to the next game. You cannot activate the combo without Klefki's Wonder.
Yeah, he says that was fine. Let's see if the scoop ups in his prizes. I didn't see it, but I didn't get a good look at the middle two.
So possibly a small mistake by Tim, not keeping a bench space open for a Klefki.
He was in an awkward spot because he either plays the Shaman down because he doesn't have the pieces, or he just passes because he can't Lily.
Yeah, well,
Right.
he did have access to
resources.
Beach that turn.
Yeah.
So he could have, for example, taken a Reuniclus, rare candied into the Reuniclus, and then beached for 7. But he opted to try and go a little harder that turn. It is unfortunate. But I assume he will be a little more cognizant of his bench space this game.
Yeah.
If he wants to actually walk away with a win here. And he'll have guaranteed 2 turns to activate the combo before Muck comes down. And if Thane doesn't put down either his Ditto Prism Star or a real copy of Alolan Grimer on the first turn, then Thane will have an additional turn to do so. So,
yeah, it's going to be interesting. I assume Thane's going to look immediately for the pieces to get that Muck out again.
Yep. So we'll see both these players playing decks that don't take conventional win approaches. Shocklock, of course, an efficient deck out deck, and Unknown Damage, a deck so powerful that it has been banned after this event. So we'll see. Tim starts out. He's looking at something.
Yeah, we didn't see what that starting Pokemon is. We'll
We'll
get
get that camera turned
sense
over
of
here
what
shortly.
made him so excited in a second.
So
it's
we
a
see
wave of
triple Lillipup. There's that Scoop Up Cyclone. Thane with the dogs out. And
People, we're going to be here all weekend bringing you these hot takes.
so Tim, of course, didn't ever get to use random receiver last turn either. Plays down a magma base. He does run 4 copies of that card, so he's fine just putting it down. Doesn't care if it gets replaced. He only needs it. He only needs 1 for 1 turn.
Yeah.
So, and he's not going to discard any. So, I'm not sure. Can't see what else.
And he's not worried about Thane taking KOs because of the damage that he puts on, because he's already seen what he's up against.
So he's going to Lily, I think, for 4. Only for 3. Okay. So we see another Solosis, I believe. Oh, no, that's a Vulpix. The glare is a little difficult to see. And he'll Trainer's Mail for... Again, can't see that. But I think that's a communication he's eyeing. It's an Ultra Ball. Okay. So he can grab Shaman with this Ultra Ball. Oh, he actually has a Shaman in his hand.
Yeah, he's just getting his hand size down here.
Going to discard a second Magma Base and there's that random receiver we talked about. Random receiver, of course, will have a 100% success rate finding Lily, unless all 3 Lily are prized.
Yes, those were just 2 cards that he knew he could not burn this turn as he sets up the Shaman again, right?
So he's taking a Ditto Prism Star. The Ditto can turn into a Weavile. It could turn into another Alolan Ninetales. He's opting to take the other Ditto, Transform, which can be any Pokemon with a turn's wait.
It's interesting. Do you think it matters?
Which Ditto?
Yeah, why did he think about that Ditto versus the other?
I think he realizes they can both be the same thing, and depending on what he draws off of, say, the Shamans and the next turns, he could turn that Ditto into Magikarp and Wailord tag team if he has the cards for the combo.
That's a good reason.
Or he could turn it into a Klefki.
He's already got the Vulpix down. He knows the Vulpix is not going to die. He doesn't need the Ditto Star for the Alolan Ninetales.
It can be anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I like that thinking.
He does set up for, I believe it was 4. He puts down, I think that's the unknown, the key.
And says, all right, let me just see what we're doing here. Now that we're going to play a real game.
Tim, I'm not sure what he's,
He Ultra Balled the Scoop Up Cyclone away.
Okay. So that's also why he took the Ditto, because he is probably not going to fill his board completely with Shaman, and knows that even if he does, he can knock something out, so he's fine just sitting here waiting. So next turn, he could get the combo. He is getting real close to that. But I don't know what else he has in his hand other than that Lily. So.
Yeah, he's going to get another turn of fun. I mean, it looks like Thane's hand is pretty much just like Beach, right?
Another reason that Ditto is a flex spot, so he could evolve that Ditto or transform that Ditto into Klefki and attach it, and then it frees up a bench spot, which then he can use to knock out his own Shaman to create more bench spots, etc.
Oh,
so
no, is that a Juniper? Yeah.
Thane is going to use Bridget.
Oh, Bridget.
He's going to grab either that Grimer or that Ditto right away.
God, that's bad at Pokemon Me. What was that madness?
So, other than that, I mean, a Raichu is probably what he's going to take. He knows that this matchup
he's grabbing the Grimer and the Ditto.
he knows that this matchup is...
He checks his deck for the Muck and grabs the Grimer and the Ditto. It's okay.
This matchup will literally come down to, can Thane get the Muck out before the combo? If he does, he will win the game. If he doesn't, or he prizes it, Tim Patton will likely win the game, as there is an inevitability to his Exodia combo. And Thane will beach for 5. A great beach. And we'll see. There's an Ultra Ball.
All right, so he's got it next turn, right?
So what is Tim going to do?
Tim's got to get there.
He does have a Lily in his hand. So he's going to transform. Oh, if he transforms it into Shaman. Okay. So he's just conferring with the judges, making sure he can do that. So now he'll need to knock out one of his other Pokemon, perhaps the Unknown, and then pull it back with a Rescue Stretcher. He does only run one copy of that, but he does have a little Ninetales, of course. So Unknown will be the target. One of the important things to keep in mind of with the bench space in this deck is you need to keep a space open for Klefki to continue looping the Klefki. So if you have one too many, you won't be able to execute the combo. I think they're just conferring.
I think they're asking if he can set up when he places the Shaman onto the Ditto.
Yeah, because it's not necessarily. It's turning the Ditto into the Shaman versus playing the Shaman from your hand.
Yeah.
So I don't believe it does.
Right. You're not playing it from your hand to the board. You're transforming the Ditto, right?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So they tell him he can't do that, and he
does have an order pad.
abandons that.
He'll need to find a Reuniclus here, likely to
knock out one of his own Pokemon.
Yeah. My guess would be to knock out the Unknown, but it could also be to knock out that Ditto. Or it could be to knock out, well, yeah, he needs to knock out one of those.
Yeah. Is this going to come down to he's going to play this order pad and he has to flip heads on it?
Yep.
Seems like it.
I don't know what else he has in his hand. If he has a rare candy, I don't know. I'd consider maybe order padding here first. See if you get heads. He is... Okay, so now he's going to be able to free up a bench spot. He will attach Klefki with Wonderlock. So now I think they're trying to see if the Ditto is also attached as an effect of Wonderlock, or if that gets discarded. And
how does that work?
I am not sure. I don't want to give a...
I mean, this is a great example of the combos that were never meant to be.
Correct.
In that now exist in expanded discussion.
So... I'm not sure. Klefki's Wonderlock ability says you have to discard all cards attached to it, but I don't believe the Ditto is attached. I think the Ditto is part of Klefki, but again, I don't want that answer to be gospel, so don't take my word for it. I'm just a guy casting some Exodia here. So he evolves that Ditto Prism Star into the Weavile, attaches the Klefki, and uses Weavile's Tearaway, demonstrates that ability. So now, order pad.
I think he
what
really
does that
needs
get us?
heads.
It's a Tails. That is unfortunate.
His stream of Tails on order pads makes it hard to win.
He still has a chance to pull off the combo this turn. He just needs to draw, admittedly, pretty well off of the Shaman. But
how many hit points does the Vulpix have?
Vulpix has 60.
60, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to find the Reuniclus, and then he can KO the Vulpix.
If he has the other pieces of the combo in his hand, he may want to save the Vulpix so he can evolve it into Ninetales. And you see just how long these turns take, because Tim needs to make sure he's sequencing everything absolutely correct. He discards the Shaman with his Ultra Ball, eyeing a... Oh, he's eyeing a Ninetales. But what else?
I assume he's...
What items does he take with this? He's probably not going to have another turn if Thane...
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's putting himself in a situation where he's going to get 2 good cards and then Beach, and then pray that Thane doesn't get the muck out, and then Thane's going to get the muck out, and where the game's going to be over.
Yeah. These have been also, unfortunately, kind of awkward draws for Tim.
I mean, flipping tails on order pad every single time you play order pad has got to make it hard to win.
That hurts, certainly. Starting, just like needing to play so many Shaman to keep drawing. You see how it clunks things up. Opting to take a level ball and maybe a rare candy. A random receiver. I think Tim is maybe a little unsure himself. Level ball, of course, will grab Reuniclus as it only has 90 HP.
Yeah, so gets the candy.
And he does take the candy, and he plays level ball. So we are seeing Reuniclus come down. Reuniclus is a card that was a little overlooked when the game rotated to Heart Gold Soul Silver on in the middle of the season. But Ross Cawthon, who we showed earlier at the World Championships that year, showed up with a deck called The Truth, which was Vileplume, and it used Reuniclus as well. And it was designed to soft lock your opponent out of the ability to knock out your Pokemon. So you would tank with these big Pokemon like Donphan or Zekrom or Reshiram.
Yeah, I mean, he has no cards in hand now. He's just going to hit the beach and pray, right?
Yeah. So Tim retreats to the unknown, picks the Clef Key up. I would consider maybe attaching it so you just beach for more cards.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any penalty to...
So he moves the damage, and he beaches for 6. I don't really know about this. I'd rather just draw more cards. The Weavile can still pick up the tool. That's not affected by Muck.
Yeah, but...
So there's I believe that's a computer search. If I'm Thane, I could just grab Muck with this computer search and win the game here. Thane, of course, won't do damage. So there's no way for Thane to help out Tim. We'll see, though.
I recognize unknown damage is getting banned because it's a combo that with the release of the next set becomes easier than ever to hit. But I feel like Muck is so pervasive in the meta. It's got to be a hard meta call.
Yeah, it's certainly a strong, hard counter to Unknown. The Unknown ban it's interesting, certainly. Unknown and Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick were the two cards that got the axe in this ban cycle. Both of them, I think, were preemptive bans. There are a couple cards coming out, a couple fossils that have abilities that are exceptionally powerful that would not interact with Maxie's well. So they banned that. We see Thane put the Muck down. So he does evolve to the Raichu as well and paralyzes the Unknown, but I think it's a formality at this point. There isn't a way for Tim to activate his combo, unfortunately. So he may play this out. I think if I were Tim, I would just save myself the trouble and possibly just concede because there's no way I can actually use my deck going forward. So,
and he hit double heads on the handiwork after all those tails on the order pad.
He discards a Magikarp and Wailord Tag Team GX, the first time that card has hit the field ever in this 2019 season.
And it's one of, I mean, he only has 2.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. He can't use Wonderlock's
yeah.
ability, so I think he's just
maybe... I think Tim's thinking about things.
Maybe he's hoping Thane will play AZ, pick up his Muck, and then not evolve the Ditto or the Grimer. Maybe. I don't really know what else he can do. It doesn't really... Unless there's something I'm missing. I don't know.
Here comes another order pad. And it goes
Can't
off
see
the
what
table.
that one was.
There. The trick was he had to change dice. That's the heads dice. That's what my kids say all the time.
The heads dice?
Yeah. You got to find the right dice.
So yeah,
Tim says, I looked at my deck and I don't like this.
Tim concedes. Obviously, sees the writing on the wall there. He knows that there's just no way he can win when the muck hits the field. So unfortunately, not exactly how we thought Unknown and Exodia's debut was going to be, but a great game by Thane, obviously.
In my mind, I think this speaks to why more people weren't on the Unknown Damage hype train going into this tournament. There's a lot of people playing Muck as a soft Sudowoodo counter to let them do Zoroark things, and he ran into it here, and you saw that is a recipe for disaster with this deck.
Yeah, definitely. Tim, when the Exodia deck is going, when all gears are firing, obviously he can win on the second turn as he's been doing. But sometimes it does take a lot of moving pieces, and sometimes they all just kind of clunk up.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately,
it was easy for me to see how he would have been able to win the next turn if in game one Thane had KO'd a Shaman, or in game two if he had just had one more turn.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Definitely. So, great game by both players. Obviously, Tim 4-1, still definitely in this tournament. Thane advances to 5-0, and as the winner, we are going to grab him for a quick winner's interview. So stay tuned for that.
I know Thane told me before the round his wife is watching. This is going to be your moment. He's going to be on.
Yeah.